Hello there, Own It community. Welcome back. We got some more Own It Breathwork. My name is Jeff. I'm the founder of Breath Army. And in this video, we are going to dissect two different breathing techniques. We're going to go through the unified breath, and then we're going to explore the Breathwave as well. So for most of our breathing practices, and for when we're out there, we're exercising, we're engaged in activity, we want to be thinking about this thing I call the unified breath. And so the unified breath, we're thinking about breathing from a central point right at our solar plexus. So the point just beneath the lower row of ribs, we've got this thing called the xiphoid process. We want to think about that point right there. And then we think about the rest of our torso as an egg-shaped cylinder. And in our unified breath, with our inhalation, what we'd want to do is expand from the central point out in each and every direction as we breathe. So we're breathing in a unified way, pushing out, expanding in each and every direction. So we imagine our upper body is like a cylinder, and we're pushing out in 360 degrees in every direction as we breathe in. And then as we exhale, we soften and collapse that cylinder back in towards the center. So if we're breathing with a cadence breath or reduced breath, apnea breathing, box breathing, all of these are using the unified breath. And so we find that equal expansion in each and every direction, leaving the neck and the shoulders soft. We really want to feel these ribs push out towards the sides. We want to feel the pelvic floor expanding and opening, allowing the diaphragm to push down and contract up against the abdominal organs. And that pushes the abdominal organs down into the pelvic floor. If the pelvic floor doesn't open and expand, those organs have nowhere to go. So then the diaphragm just pushes up against them, but it restricts its range of motion. So we need to think about breathing with that pelvic diaphragm, opening up that pelvic bowl, really feeling and connecting to the diaphragm and feeling it pushing down towards the hips as it contracts with each breath in. So with unified breath, as we inhale, we expand out, exhale, we come back in. We expand in each and every direction. And then come back to your center with each exhalation. So unified breath, pretty simple. If we're doing superventilations, we want to start thinking about the breath wave. So the breath wave is a little bit more complex. And with the breath wave, what we want to be thinking about is, again, we want to think about opening and expanding the pelvic floor. But we want to think about breathing into the belly first. And we want to start breathing into the lower belly, really expanding that area down towards the hips and just allowing that pelvic bowl to open up and expand. And again, it's so that we can push the diaphragm down and the abdominal organs have somewhere to go. So the abdominal organs push down towards the pelvic floor. And really the first part of the breath is happening with that pelvic diaphragm. And then we bring the breath up into the rib cage. We really want to feel these ribs pushing out towards the sides. So we push those ribs out, and we're really actively engaging the thoracic diaphragm at that point. The respiratory diaphragm, our main muscle of breathing. Really engaging that, pushing it down, allowing it to contract, pushes these ribs out. And then we allow the breath to flow up into the chest and the upper back, and we allow this part of the rib cage to open and expand. But we're really relaxing and opening the throat as well, which allows this upper part of the chest to open up. Get that nice full breath in right from the pelvic floor all the way up. And then with our superventilations, we're letting the breath go with a soft exhalation. That soft exhale is really important, and for a lot of people, it's really challenging. Most of us have these patterns and habits of trying to control and force things in our lives. All those things show up in our breath. But really, we want to think about our lungs kind of like balloons. And so if you think about blowing up our balloon, our lungs are made out of an elastic material. So as we breathe in, they open and expand as well. And they stretch open that elastic material. We could think about our fingers being on the neck of that balloon. And as we exhale, we just open the mouth and let the pressure go. We're not trying to force the breath out. We're not trying to push it out. That balloon lets the air go all on its own. And so we're trying to find a nice circular breath where we get that nice big deep full breath in, and then we get that nice exhalation, and it just kind of flows round and round like that. So the inhalation is flowing into the exhalation, flows back into the inhalation. We just go round and round. Deep full breath in, soft breath out. So I'm going to show you what that looks like sitting up, and then I'm going to lie down and show you what it looks like lying down, because we're going to do this practice lying down. And it's a little bit different, and it can be a little bit challenging. Many of us are really breathing into this upper part of the chest, using the neck and the shoulders to breathe. So in this way, we're repatterning the breath and breathing in a more natural way where we breathe belly, ribs, chest, and let it go. So something like this. So let's check that out and see what it looks like lying down. Alright, so here you'll be able to see me breathing into my belly first, expanding the belly. Really what I'm doing is I'm thinking about breathing down into my hips and getting that full expansion in the belly. Then the breath flows up. I let it go with a soft exhalation. It's really opening up, expanding the belly, expanding the pelvic floor. And then the breath comes up into the rib cage, and I really focus on the thoracic diaphragm and open up those ribs, push the ribs out towards the sides. It really expands the rib cage and allows me to bring the breath further up into the chest. And then as I come up to the top, I really think about opening up my throat and really opening up that upper diaphragm. So really getting a full belly, pushing out the ribs, all the way up to the chest. Super soft exhalation. No forcing, no pushing. Circular connected breath, the breath wave. Alright, so now you've got an idea of what a unified breath looks like and what the breath wave looks like. So let's try those out in some of the other videos and see what you think.